What's up, everybody? This is Adrian at thewebscrapingguy.com. If you need anything web scraped, email me, Adrian at thewebscrapingguy.com. And today we are going to be going over my process for scraping any site. And this is, yeah, I'm glad I wrote this down because this is literally the kind of the process, the checklist that I go through every time that I'm scraping a site. So if one thing doesn't work, then I just go down the list. And sometimes I even forget what my own process is. So glad that I'm doing this. So first of all so when we're scraping a site, is the website being delivered, server rendered or client rendered? So server rendered, and I have a video about this, but server rendered is the HTML just gets sent up. There's no extra fetch requests or AJAX requests, and that server is harder than client. You want to ideally be able to get all of those AJAX requests, and you can find those requests by paginating, just clicking around the page and opening up the dev tools, just like this. Oh, I don't think we can. Yeah, so you inspect, and you're going to be checking, all the network requests that happen like that. And I usually always have this thing open here in Fetch XHR. And so when I find one of those requests, and I have videos about this, but when I find one of those requests that I want, and how do I know what I want? There's some sort of payload that I want, and I usually like Command find, Command F to see if just see what payload there is that I want, or you can just see it. So yeah, then I just like copy as node fetch and then paste it on my server. So maybe we can do that here. So yeah, this is like what I do for Zillow, for example. So then I just paste the response or paste the request and then run it, see if that works. So let's actually see if this works. Demo.js. And it does. It still does. Sweet. So yeah, that's what I do. And then if that doesn't work, include a user agent. So actually I did have to include a user agent. So when you copy and paste as node fetch, then I won't include the user agent. So you'll need to include, well, if that doesn't initially work, then include a user agent. And what user agent do you use? Well, the one that, they used here. So like this one, I don't know if these have it here. Yeah. But it's like, it will be, here in the headers, and you just copy and paste that. I'm not sure why it doesn't copy and paste from that. But yeah, so that's what you'll do. And then, or you can use like one useful user agent is the Googlebot. So that is Google's, well, from what I understand, that's Google's, whenever their crawler is being used to, crawl and index pages, that's the user agent or one of them or something. I believe this works with Amazon, so very handy. But yeah, just try to experiment with different user agents. If that doesn't work, then try getting rid of the cookies, because sometimes it actually works when I don't have the cookies, which is kind of interesting. And if none of that works, then use got scraping, which is this really handy scraping npm. It is an amazing npm package from the folks at Apify. This usually gets the stuff, like when everything fails, this usually works. So very, very helpful. This is for JavaScript. If you aren't a Node developer, then good luck. I'm not sure what the other one that you should be using is. Especially when you get the message, please enable JavaScript. So a lot of sites like Indeed will hit you with the, like if you tried to just fetch the web page, it'll hit you with a please enable JavaScript. So then a lot of like inexperienced scrapers will then go for like Puppeteer or Selenium, but you don't actually need to use that. That's just a message that to you should mean, change up your cookies, or it's like a browser fingerprinting issue, which I don't even understand how they do it or how to get around it. I just use got scraping, and that usually works to get around it. So thank you to the people at Apify. I appreciate that. But yeah, so please enable JavaScript does not necessarily mean that you need to use JavaScript or like a browsing agent like Puppeteer or Selenium. Just means you need to switch up some of the headers and figure out the browser fingerprinting, and got scraping can automate, do that for you. And if everything still doesn't work, then maybe I do need a cookie or a session token, and it looks like I didn't finish that there. But yeah, so if I need a session token or something, which old sites like ASP.NET or if you see like a J session ID or something like that, then you can get a fresh one by fetching the page. So fetching the home page, and then on the response, it usually will have a fresh token or a session token that you can use. So, and then if all of that doesn't work, then you'll need to comb through the minified code. And so how you do that is you have JS here, and yeah, usually there will be files. If I refresh, there will be. So everything that you need, and I put that right here, nothing can be hidden from you. Like everything that you need to make those requests, to like kind of fake the request or to get the response back, is on the front end, is on the client, is on the browser. There's nothing that they can do, or very little that I've seen that you can do uh, to keep things from scrapers. Like it might be hard to find, but you should be able to find it somehow, because the way that the web works, like everything just has to be on the browser, on the client. So that is helpful for you when you're like, oh man, this is so frustrating. Like actually most of this stuff should work. You shouldn't, this is really a rarity. But if you're ever frustrated, like what's going on, like it is on the code somewhere. And one useful kind of hack that I've found to find things is this right here. So if I'm looking for an API, I need to make this call to an API, then I will go down the JS code and just command find really quickly. There might be 40 files, but do what you got to do. And look for that API, because strings can't be minified. So if I'm looking for like /get houses or something like that, then I will command find through all of those JavaScript files, because yeah, that is going to be referenced somewhere. Variables can be minified, but strings can't. And usually, yeah, it's the string. They have to make a request to that string. So that's a great way to start to narrow things down, because you need a starting point. It's so overwhelming with this minified code. But yeah, where do you start? And usually with that API request is where I start. And then once I have that, then you can find references to where they're making that request, and you can really kind of narrow it down from there. Very exciting thing to do. Real big pain in the ass, but you feel like Sherlock Holmes or something. Like it's actually kind of fun and rewarding when you eventually figured it out. Also, big tip that I didn't put on here is use ChatGPT to deobfuscate the code. Yeah, that's a huge one. So a lot of times you're going to run into the token limit. And this is even like if you need to upgrade to another version to get, because you're going to paste in the minified code, it's going to be huge. And a lot of times you're going to go over the token limit. But if you can pay for premium on ChatGPT to go above the token limit, totally worth it. That is huge. That has helped me out so many times. Is to, and if the huge file isn't going to fit, which it probably won't, then just take portions, small portions, just take functions and paste them into ChatGPT and ask it to deobfuscate and make it human readable. So helpful. Such a helpful hack for that. Yeah, anyway, so then we have all of these things. So getting it to work like locally. And then once you have it working locally, then try one of your proxies. So I use Storm Proxies, affiliate link in the description if you want to support me. Appreciate that. So I'll try it with one of those proxies. If that doesn't work, then I host the code on AWS Lambda to see if one of their IPs work. And their IPs are actually really, really helpful, really nice in a lot of cases, where the Storm proxies won't work, or some of my other proxies won't work, but AWS Lambda like does. And it's insanely cheap to run. So yeah, definitely try that. And then if you need new IPs, so AWS Lambda will rotate IPs automatically, but you just don't know when they'll rotate. So if you need a new IP right away, then just update the Lambda function. I think I have a video about that So search something about AWS Lambda or something. If I don't, I need to comment if I don't have that, and I'll create a video about it. So if that doesn't work, then you need a better residential or mobile IP. So Storm proxies aren't that great. They work for some sites, but if a site really has good security and requires like a really, really good residential or mobile IP, then Storm proxies isn't the best to go with. And really, you just need to Google. I have some that I use, but I don't want to recommend them because their customer service sucks and I hate them, and I will never recommend them now. So, hate you guys. So anyway, if anyone has like a great, I think for this situation, for residential or mobile IPs, you just have to Google it, which I say right here. You just have to Google like residential IPs, mobile IPs, and just try a bunch of them. And you just have to get the one that works and is, cost effective for you or whatever, because there's tons of services out there. I would say too, like, don't, skip over one just because their site doesn't look super amazing. A lot of these I feel like get shut down and then restart, and it is kind of an interesting service to be in. So don't judge a book by its cover. I guess that's what I should say. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. If you can basically, I would say, scrape any site with this framework here, with this process. And comment below if you want me to put, or like what videos you want to see next. I love getting ideas for what you want to see. And if you need anything web scraped as well, then hit me up, Adrian at thewebscrapingguy.com. I build custom scrapers for people. I'm building right now a tool that I will host all my scrapers on, so you can use them if you code or you don't know how to code. So I'm in the process of also doing that right now. Anyway, that's it. Thanks.